Okay. Here we are at Forget the Narcissist Friday. Welcome to Friday, everyone. I am pleased to be here. Let me just make sure that uh, phone is charged. It's plugged in, dropping everything. It's turning out to be a good Friday. Hopefully, everyone is having a great Friday. I know that I am. Let me just, as always, set this stuff up. It's always important. Thank you all for joining, and for those that are about to join. This time, we're talking about feeding into ourselves, pouring into ourselves, making sure that our cup is full. As far as dealing with all of this, I guess tomfoolery from the narcissist. I don't know where I started using that word at, but here I am using it. Um, yeah, and we're doing the multi-stream again. We got FB, we got YT, but most importantly, we have TikTok up in the house. Um, I think we're going to talk about, since it's Forget the Narcissist Friday, which is actually my favorite day of the week, we're actually going to talk about a little bit about doing the shadow work inside of ourselves. I think it's important that we remember that there are things inside of us that we need to fine tune. Um, as empaths, I think it's very important that we always remember that no human being on this planet is perfect. There's always work that needs to be done to make ourselves the best version of ourselves possible. Unlike the narcissist, who's just the worst person possible. In fact, the worst demon possible. Um, so this is what we do here. I guess we might as well put it into perspective. What we do here. Hey, what's up, Knock Talks? What's going on? I appreciate you joining me today. And why is it saying stable stream? I tell you, TikTok be messing up my life, and I don't know why. Um, but yeah, when we talk about the shadow work, or basically pouring inside of ourselves, I mean, this is kind of from a Carl Jung perspective. We understand that there was something that actually made us into empaths. We understand that, and that thing was. Oh, thank you for joining the fan club for 1 month. Thank you, Nog Talks. We find that the creation arc for empaths is essentially the same as it is for narcissists. We go through trauma at an early age, and what this does is it gives us a choice. Okay, it gives us a very very serious choice. What path are we going to take? Life just seems to be built up as freaking paths. There's choices. We have like a gazillion choices every day when you think about it. Down to at what point we're going to cross the street, or at what point we're going to turn while we're driving. These are all choices. Um, but when we're at that early age, this is a very important choice. It kind of dictates the trajectory of our life. When we experience that trauma, that pain, that thing that has the potential to break us, we make a choice as empaths. We say, hey, listen, I'm not going to be the one that passes the pain. I'm going to make sure that no one, and thank you for the lights and our talks, that no one actually experiences pain like this. I'm going to use everything within me. And during that growth, we soon find ourselves that we are, we're constantly apologizing for stuff that we didn't do because, yay, coconut oil from mom. Thank you for joining. We find that, we're the ones that try to keep the peace. Not only, and let's be fair, it's we try to keep the peace. We try to keep regulating the emotions of the people around us because we kind of want the peace too. And sometimes, and I had to do this. I really had to do this. I had to sit down. It was like near what I like to consider like the apex of my healing journey. I had to sit down and ask myself, why are you like this? Why? What? Not so much why did you allow this to happen, because by this point I understood the dynamics that causes narcissistic abuse, that attracts the narcissist into your circumference. I understood that already. But I had to understand why I allowed it to happen. And that took a lot of deep soul searching. I had to literally relive the trauma. Where was that pivotal point? Because in a sense, like the narcissist, we kind of bury that down. We It's not that we don't want to deal with it. We kind of know that it's there, but we don't just bring it up all random like. And I had to address that. How my caretakers made me feel. I had to relive the experiences sometimes of where I was hurt and had to find myself. I was hurt emotionally and I had to find myself keeping it to myself. Hey, what's up, Jess? How you doing? And I think that started the journey into empathy because we find that as empaths, we kind of tiptoe around people's emotions. Not that we're trying to change the people. We're like those people that walk around and say, "Hey, listen, it's really not that bad." Hey, listen, we can fix this together. Thank you for reposting this with y'all. I appreciate that, and thank you for joining. Um, and when you start to do that shadow work, when you start to examine, thank you, Narcos, for the repost. When you start to examine these things that shaped you for the good, but still hurt you, you find that you start uncovering layers of how the narcissist basically found you, how they cornered you into this dynamic that has made your life hell. Um, but it's that I think that's why in every course that I create, and I think in most of my books, there's always something about rebuilding oneself, rebuilding one's identity. Because in the narcissistic dynamic, that is usually the most painful thing to realize is that you lost the person that you were before this happened. Hey, Lil Magics, thank you for joining. And Big Gravy, thank you for joining. You know, that's the thing that hurts the most is that, it's not even their bad-ish behavior. It's not. It's the fact that you lost the core person that you were before you met them. I've been talking about, thank you, Jess, for the share. I've been talking a lot about Real Talk No Other Way. In fact, I actually went ahead and built the page. I'm not going to do the Indiegogo right now because that's going to take a lot of freaking work, but I'm going to get it done. But that was one of the things that made me realize this far into my healing, that made me realize that was something, hey, Olin, that was something that damaged me, my ability to wake up and just want to do stuff. Because, oh, thank you for the heart, me, Jess. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Before I met the narcissist, I was one of those people that every day was an adventure. And I wanted to make my mark. I wanted to do something, not so much for everyone else. It was just the way I was built. I wanted to wake up and do something. I wanted to do something, at least in my mind, monumental, whatever that word is. I wanted to do those things that made me happy, that gave me joy. I would book photo sessions. Sometimes, literally, I would book photo sessions like in Philly, just like, just quick shots. Give me $25 and we're going to go through Center City in Philly and we're going to take some amazing pictures and I'm going to give you the digital proofs. That made me happy to do that. It wasn't a big thing, but it made me happy to do that. I felt really, really good about my capability to wake up and do stuff like that. Some days I wake up and be like, you know what? I remember my first book that I wrote, The Ghetto Survival Guide for Blacks and Latinos. That was one of those things. I just woke up and said, you know what? I've never written a book before. Let me see if I can do it. Hey, Dina Mina, what's going on? Let me see if I can do it. Never wrote a book before. Never even thought about it before that day that I woke up. I got it done. And these are the things that slowly became lost in that narcissistic relationship. Because we constantly walk around not so much trying to keep the peace, We learn very early on that whenever we talk about something that brings us joy, whenever we talk about something that brings us happiness, whenever we talk about something that makes us feel good, we get that backlash. We get that anger. We get that sabotage. We get those feelings we're told that we're not enough, that we shouldn't embark on that. My first narcissist literally waited until we was in a car wash and lit in on me as to why I was going to write a book. This is back in 2008. And I was like, because I've never done it before and it's something that I wanted to do. And the rage that I experienced, I thought they were going to hit me in the car while we were in the car wash. They were furious. I couldn't see a reason why. I couldn't understand the reason why they were doing that. Let me get to, hey, Wanda Pope, what's going on? And Jess says, oh my God, you're right. I just realized that my coping, my happiness isn't safe around others. I think as empaths, haters take on a whole different definition because we've done nothing by default. As empaths, we 99% of the time we do nothing by default to have people want to hate us or hate on us or be jealous of us or be envious of us. But we still find even outside the narcissistic dynamic with toxic people that they will hate you because of your light. Because of the thing that my grandmother used to always tell me. She used to always tell me this. Butchie, sometimes people can see your potential before you even realize it. Didn't understand it then. I think I was like 6 years old. I did not understand. I'm like, what is Nana talking about? But, as I got older, and especially now after this last run-in with the last narcissist, I really understood it. I really understood what she meant. There are people out there are demons out there that your light, it terrorizes them. It makes them so scared because the narcissist, because this is Forget the Narcissist Friday, the narcissist doesn't look, even though they're supposed to be in a fulfilling relationship with you, you become that threat because you're that person like me that wakes up and say, I've never done that before. Let me do that. That makes them feel so envious of you, so hate, because they can't do that. They never will be able to do that. A narcissist can't sit down and write a bucket list that has any meaning. The reason why they can't do it is because A, they can't reflect, and B, they don't understand joy and happiness. When you smash a goal, when you pass that test that test in school or college or that paper that you have to write and it comes back with an A or 3.8 or 4.0, how do you feel? You're excited, you're joyful because what you did was you pushed past the anxiety. You push, excuse me, you pushed past all the things that mentally could potentially hold you back and you said, I'm going to get this done. I done sat in this class for a whole semester. There's no way in the world that I am not going to get the grade that I should get. And you do it. This is what makes the narcissist jealous. This is why your relationship doesn't feel fulfilling. It feels like you're in a competition. It feels like the narcissist thinks of you. You don't think of them this way because in any fulfilling relationship, and I say this often, a win for me is a win for us. If I accomplish something, we accomplish something. The narcissist doesn't think like that. See, if you accomplish something, that means that they are no longer superior to you in that lane. They don't understand the concept of, hey, listen, this is what I've been doing all my life. This is just me. I make no apologies for being me. The narcissist wants you to make apologies for being yourself. They don't want you to be your authentic self because how can something with a fractured identity ever ever be authentic. They hate you for that. And this is why I say you must heal. If for no other reason but to reclaim your identity. Reclaim the person that you person down so much. They have everything that you accomplish. You're getting darts thrown at you. Everything, hey Judy, everything that you're trying to do, you're being met with resistance, not from the outside world. But this is an important thing, not from the outside world, not from the toxic people that are not in your life. You're being met with resistance from the demon that lives right amongst you, that sleeps next to you. Your happiness is a direct threat to them. Your need to accomplish something in this life. What will the narcissist, your narcissist, what will they ever accomplish? What will they ever do that will change the landscape of our world? They don't have it in them. Yes, they can latch on to somebody's coattails and be dragged along for the ride, essentially wearing that person, essentially trying to take credit for what that person did just by proximity. But can they do it themselves? Do they have that capability? How all the things that you did within that relationship, they were quick to take credit. I helped you with that. You couldn't have done that without me. All of this stuff, but in hindsight, you look back, I could have did it without you, and you really wasn't that much help. In fact, you tried to shoot it down. I can recount times that you tried to sabotage the process. Do you know where that comes from? That comes from you, and I've got to be straightforward. That comes from you trying to ignore what you see, what you literally see. You hide your emotions. This is your partner. This is supposed to be your mate, your fiance, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You have to hide the way that you feel. And you do it. You literally do it. You literally calculate how you're going to approach them. Why should you feel that way? They do this on purpose because they know and understand that there is something so freaking great in you. If you believe, even by a small amount, that you're an empath, oh, there's something great. That your history was written. You're going to do something great. You probably don't even know what the hell great thing you're supposed to do, but you can sense it. You can feel it deep down inside of you. The narcissist can feel it too. That's why they attracted them. They introduced themselves into your immediate circumference. That's the reason why they did it. Because as soon as they can smell the empath on you, do you know what they did? They made a conscious decision that they had to destroy you. You are the light. You were blinding them. They had no intentions to say, well, let me go put on some sunglasses until I can acclimate to your light. And then we can move forward and work together. No, your light must be extinguished. Did you not feel, hey, Cosmo, Bob Meek, thank you for joining. Thank you. My fan club is growing. I love you guys. I love you guys. That light had to be snuffed out. It did, and you felt it. Again, part of what we do with the system is in the bio. Part of what we do with this system is we uncover those truths that you have been avoiding. And I don't say that to point fingers at someone, make them feel guilty, to make them feel self-conscious, because deep down inside, you know that that's truth. Thank you, Marshall Brown, for the follow. I appreciate you. I'll follow you right back. Modest Lady K says, my husband is a narcissist with 2 children together. I've accepted it at this point. That's the only way you're going to heal, and I salute you. I salute you. You have to accept. I get it. As normal functioning human beings, not even throwing the empath part into it, we don't expect people to be this way. We don't expect that the person that we said, hey, listen, boo boo, I love you. I want to spend my life with you. I remember when I was healing, there was something that I used to say to my narcissist forever in 2 days. Sometimes I feel sick when I think about the fact that I said that. Because they weren't deserving of it. And second of all, they definitely didn't feel the same way. Forever in 2 days meant to them, I will extinguish your light forever in 2 days. I'm on a whole different ballpark with this one. I'm thinking we're going to walk off into the sunset. You know, hey, listen, I don't want to hit the dirt first, and I don't want you to hit the dirt first. I want to hit the dirt together if possible by the universe. They wanted me to hit the dirt as quickly as possible. It's a lot to deal with. But once you do that thing of understanding yourself, remember, and this is like exhibit number one. During that whole situationship, how much did you ever give back to yourself while you're going through this maze of crazy emotions that you don't understand why they're acting this way? While you're going through, I got to keep my mouth shut. While you're going through saying to yourself, maybe they're just stressed. While you're going through, well, this is really important and I really need to talk to them about this. How am I going to introduce this to them? You essentially are emotionally confused. And I know because I've been there, you don't like that feeling. You don't like the feeling that you have to choose your words to have a conversation with this person. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel great at all. It feels kind of cray-cray. You know, hold on one second. I forgot to add something to the other thing. Thank you. So yeah, you feel this deep down in your soul. So you don't need me to tell you this. You don't. Because you've been feeling this for name a time period. But you keep on giving this demon the benefit of the doubt. You keep on saying to yourself, I can fix this. I can bring them back to the person that I met in the beginning. We can go on to being happy. I just need them to understand how much I care, how important this relationship is to me. I've been there. But you're soon met with, you're met with, oh, you're being too sensitive. Oh, you're being too emotional. Yet and still, you're trying to salvage something that you just don't understand. It's not salvage. You can't salvage it. You can't fix it. And they know this. They've always known this. I try to explain to people what makes narcissists so dangerous is they know exactly what they are doing. Every stage of the game, everything is done on purpose. Everything is calculated. Everything is done for the end result of you disappearing on any level you want to pick. Again, they have to dim that light. They have to get rid of it. Thank you, Jorge, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll follow you right back right after this. So what happens is that with my growth, I think how I present narcissism has grown. And I talked about this last night a little bit. I've grown to the point of, as a person that has went through this, very important, not as someone who has studied this, not someone that has gone to school to learn about this, as a person that has literally gone through it and had to figure out a way to come out of the dirt. Oh, thank you so much for the share. Oh, I appreciate you guys. Marshall Brown, thank you. And Rocket Man Hero, thank you for joining. Let me see if I have any questions. Uh, Cosmo Bob Meek says, I'm filing to divorce from one now. I salute you. If you believe, again, always remember, I am not here with all of my knowledge, with all of my research, with all of my studying on this subject of narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and trauma bonds. I'm not here to diagnose anyone. I'm not. That's not my job. I think last night we went through the DSM-5 for NPD. You need to make this choice, not me. You're living with this demon, not me. But I'm proud of you. Because if you feel that you're emotionally unsafe in this dynamic, why would you stay? Why would you stay? So thank you for putting it down, and I salute you, Cosmo Bob Meek. Modest Lady K says, I just told myself he doesn't bring me joy. God brings me joy, and I've got to remind myself of that. Yes. This is exactly what we need to do. As a minister, I am a proponent of reaching out to your higher power, no matter who that may be, and getting support from your higher power to get you through this, because essentially you're battling a demon. If you believe in the Islamic text, you're battling a jinn. You're battling something that you were never prepared for. Because what did you do? You just tried to love someone with all of your heart. You threw your back into it, and you never expected that it would turn out this way. As survivors, we all have that moment where we wake up and you say to yourself, how the hell did I get here? But sometimes we continue to make excuses. We're not making excuses for ourselves because we no longer give ourselves any energy when we've gotten so deep into this situation. And I've got a lot of messages. I'm going to get to all you guys. I'm going to get to all of you guys. When you get to that point where you're asking yourself, how did I get here? That's your nervous system screaming at you. Because the logic part of your brain stopped working a long time ago. It did. The logic part of your brain is just waiting for the next instance of love bombing after making you trip and fall, through a whole bunch of isolation and ignoring you and acting like you're not being seen. Then they run over and give you a hug out the blue. That's your dopamine rush. And that once you get that dopamine rush, you start thinking to yourself, you know what? There's a chance that this could get better. There's a chance that they're starting to understand. Not only understanding me, but understanding how important this relationship is. There's hope. It was done on purpose. The narcissist, if you look back in hindsight, your relationship was based on them testing how far they could go to hurt you, how far they could go to hurt you, how far they could devalue, how far they could make you lose confidence before you decide that I've had enough. That's where that hug comes from. That's where that random kiss comes from. People tend to forget. While we've been out there practicing how to make the world a better place, when we're out there practicing how to keep our friends, the people that we believe we're close to, stable and helping them through their problems, the narcissist has been practicing their whole life how to manipulate people, how to hurt people, how to extinguish the light of others. This is the narcissist. We were never prepared for the narcissist. There is no way. I really don't like creators that say, well, you should have known better. No. What prepared you to meet a demon? What literally prepared you to meet someone whose only purpose is to destroy your life? Somebody tell me in the comments what preparation that you got to help you get through this. No, you didn't. because you've been on a whole different wavelength. You know, you've been on a completely different wavelength. You've been all kumbaya and let's toast some marshmallows on the fire. Let's have a good day. You're the one when somebody says, "Oh, I had a rough night. My back hurts. I got a headache. Oh my God, today is going to be terrible." Your first response is usually, you know, "Hey, listen, it could turn out right." Or you're trying to get away from them because the negative energy is bringing you down. But how do you get away from the negative energy when in your mind this is someone that you love? Where's the escape plan? Where's the back door? The back door is once you say, "Hey, Christina, thank you for joining." You know, so here's the thing that Lady K says, and I want to read this because this kind of shows you once the narcissist has in their mind decided you are indeed a empath. Once they decide that, again, and let me just say this briefly, the narcissist will detach and go away if phase one doesn't work. If they believe that you're an empath, and let's just say you're a super empath, and that's a real thing. Let's say you're a super empath, which basically means you've gone through this before and you can actually spot them. So what happens is they start phase one. That is the love bombing. That is the mirroring. That is to make you feel that you've met your soulmate. And this is just how nefarious it is. Because that is their goal. Not to authentically make you feel that connection with them. No, they're going to trick you into making that connection. They're basically going out of their way to make you fall in love with yourself. And you're just superimposing yourself on this person. Okay, this is manipulation they have practiced through the years. This is the part where you notice when we go to the tavern, when you met them, if you met them at a tavern, they didn't drink what you drank. However, all of a sudden, they drink what you drink now. That's slight mirroring. Okay, they're starting to use your phrases in regular conversation. You know, that is, you're saying to yourself, "Oh, this is really cool. They're just like me. They walk like you, they talk like you. All of a sudden, they have the same dreams and goals that you have." But that is basically, and look this up, this is basically a salesman's trick. It's called mirroring. Because if you're looking at yourself, that red flag system starts saying, "Nah, that's not a red flag. Nah, that's not a red flag." So they trick you into falling in love with yourself. And once they have you there, the devaluation starts very slowly. The need to extinguish your light begins. Narcissism always, 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 without fail, follows the same patterns and trends. The love bombing stage, the initial thing that they need to get you trapped as an empath. If it doesn't work, they're going to detach. You probably will never see them again in your life. That's a good thing. But if it works, if you find yourself with the pillow talk, "Oh my God, where have you been? I've needed you all my life, and finally you're here," the other switch in their brain goes off. Okay, it's time to start breaking this MF. We're going to extinguish this light. If the love bombing phase one works, oh, they'll take their time to rest. Because you, in the narcissist's mind, is an almost endless amount of supply. Because you care. You care. See, you don't get emotionally upset about things that you don't care about. You say, "Oh, whatever." But you care about this person. "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts, Cosmo Bob. I appreciate you." You care. They know that you care. They have been doing this most of their life. The first time they met a empath, that was the best day of their life. And they know, just like an animal that has its favorite prey, they know, like, this feels good. This tastes good. I love this. And that predator starts to look for that specific animal. It's like, "Yeah, this is great. Oh my God." So people sometimes mistake intermittent supply for main supply. There is a difference. Intermittent supply is just that person that validates them. They're not an empath. They're easy to manipulate. They're easy to get intermittent supply from. But that's not their long-term goal. Their long-term goal is the empath. So the intermittent supply will just get dropped. Okay, yeah, I'm done with you. I found the empath. It's time for me to move on. That is my number one food source. I got no time for you. Maybe if I need an extra dose of validation, I'll circle back around. But other than that, I ain't got no time for you. There's an empath out there. The empath, the reason why, and I'll briefly go through this, and I know I go through it every live, is because empaths and narcissists are literally the flip sides of a coin. The darkness, the worst darkness that you can see in any individual, that's your narcissist. That's the dark side of the coin. Because at an early age, when they, remember, always the same forge, when they experienced the trauma in their life, the thing that brought them to their knees, the thing that they couldn't comprehend or understand as a child, they decided, they said, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like these feelings of shame. I don't like these feelings of guilt. And it's not my fault. So somebody must pay for this. And believe it or not, this is science. Certain parts of their brain starts diminishing and other parts start growing. The things that we expect from most human beings doesn't exist in them. The ability to interact with people without seeing them as a transaction or manipulating them. That's huge in a narcissist. But the ability to have impact, to have the capability to care about other people and their emotions, that's shrunk. This is science. Go look it up. So when we make these choices, what happens is we decide as an empath, oh my God, this really took me, oh my God, I don't know what to think. As a child, and children, for the most part, just have two needs: love and be loved. That's it. That is like the main requirements for any child. Hey, Paula Duke, so what happens is we decide, because being an empath, we say, you know what? I don't want anybody to feel this because this made me feel super bad. We become the people pleasers. We become the people that over-explain. We over-explain because we don't want anybody to misunderstand us, because it made us feel a certain way when people misunderstood us. Think about that for a second. Do you find yourself like crossing the T's and dotting every I when you're explaining something simple to somebody, especially with the narcissist? Not just for the fact, see, it's embedded in us. It wasn't just for the fact that the narcissist was giving you word salad or just refusing to understand you. No, that wasn't it. That was not it. What it really